Hi folks, I'm Steve Hindy for Shark, Showing Animals Respect and Kindness. From mid-April to early May 2016, Shark conducted a 3-week operation to document the senseless slaughter of marine birds called cormorants off East Sand Island, which lies at the mouth of the Columbia River at the border of Oregon and Washington. Our tax dollars are being used to fund this slaughter by Wildlife Services, a branch of the U.S. Department of Agriculture at the request of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. These birds are being blamed for eating salmon. The bulk of their diet is not salmon, but that doesn't stop the government from scapegoating cormorants to hide the real culprits: overfishing, habitat degradation due to logging and pollution, and worst of all, the Columbia River's series of dams that kills almost 2/3 of the salmon coming down the river. For the first week that we were on the river, the killers literally ran from our cameras. Too bad we didn't have water skis with us. We would have had a great time while we were tailing them. After a week of running from, but failing to elude us, the killers were given cover by the United States Coast Guard, which gave the killers a 500-yard exclusion zone around their boat. That meant no one could come closer than over a quarter mile of the killers. The killers are using shotguns, and they don't need anywhere near a quarter mile plus for safety purposes. Filming on a pitching boat is hard enough at a reasonable distance. Filming from 500 yards away becomes nearly impossible, and that, of course, is exactly what the cowards of Wildlife Services wanted. So the Army Corps of Engineers, the USDA, and the Coast Guard thought they had stumped us. They were wrong. We were still able to film the killers from our boat, thanks to good cameras with great stabilizers. The Wildlife Services killers had other tricks. They would run their boat at us and then complain to the Coast Guard that we were in their zone. They would speed toward us to make us move away and then zoom in the opposite direction to quick kill some birds. The Coast Guard kept bringing a boat out to harass us.
We just got a call making sure you guys are outside of the 500-yard limited access area we have on the USDA vessel out here. Okay, according to our radar right now, you guys are good to go.
And then a helicopter. It was a circus. We noticed the killers preferred an area fairly close to shore. We figured that a couple people with big lenses on good cameras could document them pretty well. Shark happens to have a couple really good cameras with big lenses and a couple sharp people who know how to use them. So we quietly flew those people in to document the slaughter from shore. The killers were so focused on our boat, they failed to realize who was really getting some of the best shots. I've got a word of advice for Dave Williams, the head of Wildlife Services in Oregon. It isn't the sharks that you see that you have to worry about, Dave. It's the sharks you don't that'll get you. Now, on Dave Williams' watch, we've exposed the animal serial killers from Wildlife Services like no other group has ever done before. And this is just the beginning, I promise. The cormorants are animals held in the public trust, living in our public waters, and they are being killed with our tax dollars. What kind of arrogant government bureaucrats believe the American taxpayer shouldn't be able to see what they are forced to fund? As for the cormorant killers, we're planning for a bigger and longer operation next time that will obtain even better documentation. Meanwhile, you can sign this petition demanding an end to the killing. If you support organizations that work on the front lines, we could really use your help. In fact, we can't continue to do it without you. I'm Steve Hindy for Showing Animals Respect and Kindness.